and in the chat box. For those who might have any issues, thank you so much, Anais. For those who might have any issues, please refresh your page or exit, and you can come back into the link. So hello from Virginia, Jennifer. Perfect. I'm just gonna wait 1 minute just to let it trickle in because I think we still have. It is actually 12, so I'm just gonna wait a minute just to make sure that anyone that's trying to get into the class. I'm happy everyone's here today. Naya, hello from North Carolina. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Vivian. Welcome, everyone. So I'm from howdy. Are you from Texas, Andrea? I see you and hear you. Perfect. So I'm all the way in Canada. I am in Ontario, the province, and Toronto, the city. So I bring you a cold hello because today is very cold and very rainy outside. But we knew it was coming. We've had pretty good weather so far. No, in the country in Ontario. Yes, Andre. Oh, you missed TO, Vivian. Where you've visited before? Kelowna, BC, Canada. You guys already have snow, I believe, if I'm correct, Jennifer. I don't mind the snow, but it's the bitter cold when it gets minus, and you freeze in a second. That's not fun, but the snow is really beautiful. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everybody's, I feel like we're kind of going back to some kind of normalcy right now. Like things are becoming a little bit more, doable. Like we're getting used to what we have to be doing with the COVID and so forth. So I hope everyone's doing well. No snow. I'm in sandals today. Well, I am jealous, Jennifer. I just got back from Orlando and it was so nice and hot, Florida, and I didn't want to come back. Oh, you did, Shannon. Thank you, Shannon. Yeah, so you know what, Shannon? We'll be getting snow soon too because Barrie had snow as well. So it's going to come here soon. Hello from Ottawa, Tamara. Welcome. Thank you. Okay, so welcome everyone. There's still some that are trickling in, but we should start because we want to be able to get to our demo as well and showcase our lovely model when we're doing a beer tinting as well. Welcome, Jennifer from Peterborough. So I'm going to put on the PowerPoint presentation and let me know that you can see it on the screen. And you can see it. We've got our lovely male model there, and we're going to talk a little bit. It's a really brief presentation. Perfect. Thank you, Angelica. So it's a really brief presentation because we want to spend the time with the demo so that you can see how fun it is also to integrate your male clientele into RefectoCil. So perfect. Thank you, Heather. Okay. So I'll do a little brief hello for those who might not know who I am. If it's your first time with one of my webinars or your first time, I guess, meeting me virtually, please put it in the chat box. I appreciate that you're here today to listen to this information. My name is Chrissy. I am the lead trainer of North America, and I do have an aesthetic background as well. I do go around teaching all about RefectoCil. I have a real passion for RefectoCil, and I want to share that passion that I have with you guys so that you can go and execute the best results for your clientele when it comes to brows or lashes. So let me just see quickly who, first time, nice to meet you too, Kaylin. First time here, still learning. We're all learning, Jerry. So we're learning for the best, right? To do our treatments better, to treat our customers better, and also to accommodate our customers as well, right? As I mentioned into my webinar the other day, with mask wearing, we have a lot of new clientele that's coming in seeking for these lash and brow services that they were not doing before. But they saw with mask wearing, they had to start to emphasize their lashes and brows because it was the area that was showing emotions and so forth, right? So welcome all your first timers. Heather, Gloria from Fort Lauderdale. I've been there, love it. Would love to go back. First time, so let me just make sure I got everyone. First time. Okay, Awesome. So welcome you first timers, and we'll hopefully have you on other webinars where you'll be not anymore first timer and a regular support to our webinars. Okay, so let's get started. I also like to put a little bit of about RefectoCil. So for any of you who are completely new to the brand, I have been doing webinars the past 2 weeks, a lot of them, and I ask people in the chat to tell me who is completely new at RefectoCil. If you're completely new at RefectoCil, let me know as well in the chat, because we welcome you, and we hope with today's webinar, you will be able to know why RefectoCil should be your choice. Heather, you already signed up for the next one. You're the bomb. Thank you. Kind of. Okay. So maybe you started off, Jerry, with tinting, but now you want to elaborate. You don't want to just offer your clients just one service. You want to be able to extend that customer loyalty and keep that client coming to you for all RefectoCil services. Yeah, for all RefectoCil services, right? So if you're not doing lash lifts, well, maybe try and look into bringing that in. If you're not doing brow laminations, well, people, you're missing out a lot if you're not doing brow lamination. I currently have it on my brows. It helps me to have thick, full, fluffy brows without an invasive treatment. So learn to expand with RefectoCil and see what you can do with the complete line, because your customers will only be growing and your clientele will be growing as well. Okay, so let's see. I've used it before during SC school. My first time buying it was at the show in Chicago. Oh, well, great. I wasn't there. I was sick, so I couldn't make it, but I'm happy to hear that you bought it, Heather. And this webinar will even help you to be able to use it for male clienteles. Okay, so I put this slide here so you can see how long RefectoCil has been around, because this will help you to make a choice of what brand you want to use in your salon or spa. And just about a month ago, they did celebrate their 90th anniversary. So they've been around for 90 years, and they are representing in more than 65 countries as a market leader in lash and brow services. And with so many successful results, I constantly have people tagging us on our Instagram and doing my best to showcase them on our stories, but seeing everybody's beautiful befores and afters and this gives testament to the brand that you're going to get great results, and you're also going to be working with a brand that's going to be gentle on your face and around your eye area. That is very important when you're choosing a brand, that it should be a low percentage in peroxide when you're mixing with the tints, because you are working around the eye area, and the hairs on the lashes, brows, they're much more thinner, so you have to be mindful of that, and RefectoCil is always mindful of that. So far, I only do brow tinting. I need to build the courage to do the rest. Jerry, we will help you along the way. Follow us on the Instagram to see what other people have to say, but also our website. And you'll see it at the end, our RefectoCilEducation.com website. We post tutorials up there. We will help you along the way. You're not alone, okay? Are you guys going to be in Miami in November? No, we are not. I would love to be there. Okay, so a little bit of the histories of the beards. This is just something I wanted to put in there just to understand. Beards are just like brows were emphasized, right? Beards were something that back in the day, they used it for warmth. Maybe back in the Stone Ages, we say they use it for warmth. Giving maybe a more thicker, stronger looking jawline, so that can give intimidation, but also protection, right? Back in the day, if they were in a battle, it could help from the blows to the punch of the face. That's a little bit of like a little history. But we know when we look at beard tinting, or just beards, growing a beard has been a sign of manliness. That's a tongue twister. Since the dawn of time, scientists believe prehistoric men had beards for warmth, intimidation, protection, as I mentioned before. In ancient civilization, beards were a sign of honor and were only cut as punishments. And then what about modern trend now? What about nowadays with beard tinting? Well, the overall verdict is that beards are still in, but in a less scruffy, more well-groomed way than before. So beards will stay. The trend might lessen a little bit, where you won't see as many men wearing beards, but now it's become like the more well-groomed beard that can stay for a while, okay? So the question to you guys is, how to style men's beards with RefectoCil? Well, when we look at this, the first thing we're going to look at when you're looking at your male client is color typing, right? You need to figure out what color typing will fit with what type of hair, right? So if we have a soft brown kind of hair on their beards, then we can use our light brown, our 3.1 for soft brown shades, right? Or if we don't want to go too excessive on their beard tinting, they want it very natural looking, and the natural brown tends to get dark, especially if they're they're fair skin and light haired. You can just use the light brown for that. If you want to have a more of a cool or ashy shade, because a lot of men's beards have a lot of warmth in them, right? They have a lot of that, I know not brassiness, but like that reddish tone in their beards. So in that case, you need to use graphite. And if you're already using it on the lashes, brows, you know that graphite will cool down any of your colors. So if you wanted to mix it with, say, the light brown to add more coolness, but to add more depth to the beard, then you can do that. Or you can use it all alone to add that coolness to the beard. Then you have, if you want to you have a dark skin toned or dark haired clientele that you need to get a little bit more dark, but not too excessively dark, you got your natural brown. It tends to go pretty dark. I've never used straight black unless I have a darker skin clientele. Otherwise, I will take the black along with the natural brown to mix it to add a little bit more depthness. It might be too harsh, completely black, so learn to mix, okay? And hello, Rosanna, welcome. Okay, then we go into mixing. So as I mentioned, it's great to get into the mixing because you're custom coloring these colors to suit your client. So if we wanted to, once again, add that coolness, you got at equal parts. So your mixing ratio says 1:1. You're going to take your light brown and your graphite, mix it together, and you're going to achieve a nice cooler shade. If you just wanted to keep it brown shade, and maybe a little bit of, it's going to have a little bit of warmth and you don't mind, you can mix your natural brown with your light brown, equal parts, 1:1 makes equal parts. And then obviously with your oxidant, and that way you can achieve like a medium tone brown. If the light brown is too light, if the natural brown is too dark, then you've got a medium tone. And hello, Lisa, welcome. Okay. So that's straightforward, okay? So learn to mix. With the male clientele, it's easier to mix because you don't have to go too crazy with the colors. It's very simple for male as opposed to like brows. Mixing, the application, number 3. So we had number 1, colors, color type, number 2, color mixing, and now number 3, application. So your ratios are always equal parts. And that's why it's best to use cream oxidant, because you can get those equal parts properly. You can see it, as opposed to the liquid, it's a little bit harder. So, and also with the oxidant cream, you're also going to have a very good consistency that it stays on the beard. Okay, so that's why we suggest using the cream. Now here you have, in this writing here, it says the shorter the beard, the less product you need. The mixing ratio is always 1:1, which if you break it down means 7 to 10 drops of oxidant cream per each centimeter of tint. Gary, you can use the liquid, but sometimes if you're going to do a beard tinting with the male clientele sitting up, just you get a really nice thicker consistency with the oxidant cream so that you don't have that risk of dripping. Otherwise, just put a cape over them, right? But it is better for beard tinting to do with cream. Keep your liquid too, because you get great mixture in the liquid for your brows and your lashes, right? You can utilize both of them. They both give the same results. Hello, Lucy. Okay, so when you have that standard ratio of 1:1 or 7 to 10 drops of cream per each centimeter, then you have this breakdown. If you're dealing with a mustache, which is like the easiest to tint, you would say roughly 4 centimeters of tint to 28 to 40 drops of oxidant. So you are using a lot more oxidants and a lot more tint. But you're also raising your price higher for a beard tinting. Okay, there is a lot more canvas that you're working with. There is a lot more time that you're going to spend with prep, cleaning, and application time. Then you have your 3-day stubble, which is easier as well to do. And it's about 6 centimeters to 42 to 60 drops of oxidant cream. Then when you start getting to the longer beard, if it starts to get excessively long, that's when maybe they would have to seek like a barber. But if they have, like my male model today has like a little bit, they have more than a 3-day stubble. There is quite some length there, but it's doable where I'm going to be able to use the 8 centimeters to 56 to 80 drops of oxidant cream. That's why you don't want to sit there and counting each your drops. That's why the cream, you can see the equal parts of the ratios better. You can do that 1-to-1 ratio better. What price would you recommend for beard tinting? We've had suggested like about 65 and about 65, I believe we had suggested our last time for our webinar, right? Because usually you can do 20 to 25 for lashes, 15 to 30 for brow tinting. But because this is a bigger canvas, now I'm saying 65 for a more predominant beard. If you're going to do a mustache, which is equivalent to brows, I would not charge 65. I would probably go around the same as brows, because it's one section right here and it's combined together. It's the same amount as their brows, right? You can slightly go a little bit higher. So if we're saying if we're saying $15 to $20 for brows, then I would do $20 for the mustache. Okay. How is RefectoCil different from hairstylist colors for hair on the head? So the ingredients in the color tubes were made to be used around the eye area, as well as the oxidant is only 10 volume 3%. There are other brands out there that go higher, 6%. RefectoCil is all about caring for your skin, caring for your hair, caring for your eyes. So we only keep it at 3%. Once you deviate and you do your own percentage, we won't be able to support you. So you want to be mindful of your clients' area around their face. Hopefully that answered your question, Jerry. Okay. How about brow lamination? So we talked about beard tinting, but would you ever have thought to brow laminate your client's brows, your male client brows? Well, why not? I always give the example of Jack Nicholson. Poor Jack Nicholson. I am like butchering the poor guy, but his brows are very scary. As a young child, I thought him very scary. Those brows can have like curls, kinks going up this way that give you more of that like evil look. So it always didn't find it attractive, right? So if you have male clientele like that, you just want to relax. So let's look at why. So brow lamination, it focuses on creating a shiny, smooth brow, but also it helps relax the brow hairs, and it's sometimes called an eyebrow perm. So you don't necessarily have to, what's the word called? You don't necessarily have to give them that shine, a laminated look that we do for a lot of our female clientele, but you can relax it enough that the hair doesn't have those waves. Like my model today has a little bit of like waves in it, some straighter hair and some waves. We want them all to flow the same way, because then you get that more smoother and non-aggressive look as well. Okay. Let's see. Yep, the higher the peroxide, it's just not safe for the hair. On the hair in our head, we have a lot more, and it's thicker, the consistency as well, right? Will it cover gray? Yes, it does cover gray, like your new gray. If the gray becomes very, very, very coarse and wiry, you have to do a pre-softening with the bleach. I haven't had to do that for a male clientele as of yet, because I just leave the tint a little bit longer to try to grasp that gray hair. But on brows, if you get the very wired, I pre-softened 3 to 5 minutes with the bleaching paste. So hopefully that answered your question, Grace. If I miss another question, please ask it. Okay, so brow lamination is a great way to help clients who may be experiencing thinning or unruly brows. If a male clientele is losing their brows and it's not making them look masculine enough, you can take those hairs, as you can see in these before and after pictures, you can separate them where it would fill in any gaps. Okay, and like microblading, no needles are involved. Maybe male clientele don't really want to go and feel that microblading feeling, so they are going to opt for a brow lamination. Okay, sorry, Grace, what length of time? That would vary on the beard depending on the color you're trying to achieve and the coverage you're trying to achieve. So it varies. You will be getting a protocols after here, a thank you email with the protocols, and you will be able to see the timings, the rough timings, okay? And that's it for my PowerPoint presentation, because we want to get our mail model in. It's exciting and get to start with these with the service. So please, 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 if you're not already stalking us, please stalk us. You never heard that before, right? Please stalk us, but this is a good stalking. So follow us on Instagram. We have our RefectoCil North America account, but we also have my training one, Browista by RefectoCil. Like us on Facebook, review us on Facebook. We love reading reviews. And you know what? If they're not always positive, it's something that we have to adjust if it's something we have to fix on our training. So let us know. We're here to help and support. We are a little community, a family, right? Visit our educational website, RefectoCileducation.com. That is the website that, you know, for the new users, I think it was it Jerry? Can't remember. But for the new users here, please follow this website, because it's going to help you continue your education with RefectoCil and expand. And then for educational assistance, you got the Education at CBUN group. Oh, perfect. I got it right. Thank you, Jerry. And for the rest of you that said you were new, for educational assistance, education at cbungroup.com. I will answer any of your questions. I will do my best to answer it right away. I also do my best to answer on Instagram. Sometimes it's faster on Instagram because my phone's always with me. Okay. Awesome. So we're going to go to a live demonstration. Please stay all the way till the end because we have a little bit of a surprise. So I will prep for the demo and get my model in here. So I will be switching the camera down to the bed, and I will also be getting myself ready, prepped with PPE. Okay. You can see my training room. Okay. So give me a second to go get my model. If you have any questions, please ask away. I can answer and multitask. Oh, thank you. Okay. I have the heater on, so hopefully it'll be warm. Okay. So I'm gonna get you to lay down.
Can I keep my mask?
Oh, you'll have to take your mask off. Yeah. We need your beard. Okay, then I'm gonna align. Oh, you might be too high up. A little slightly lower because your head won't be comfortable. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. There is a question, I think. Yeah, hairdressers. Renee says hi. Anthony, to you.
Hi, Renee.
Yes, hairdressers, they will try to use what's left in the bowl because it's easier for them. They don't have to charge their clients. So yes, it's been done many years like that, but they are learning now to switch and start using something safer. Eventually down the road too, using that high level peroxide around the eye can have long-term damage. So we want to not do that to our clients, right? Okay, so I'm gonna align this. I have him laying down instead of sitting up so you guys can see it, and I can work on both the brows and the beard at the same time. So hopefully him laying down is okay for you guys. Let me know that the view is okay. I will expand it bigger as well. So give me one moment. Let's expand it bigger. It's a little zoomed in, so let's zoom that out a little bit. How do you guys feel right now with the view of our model, Anthony? Let me know if it's okay. Oh, okay, there we go. Let me know if that's okay. Much better? Okay, thank you, Emily. Hey, Emily. Okay, perfect. Emily, Melanie, I know some of these names. Welcome, welcome. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so I'm just going to go get my gloves on, and then we'll go through the protocols together. So once again, don't worry, you will have these protocols afterwards. But in the meantime, I will talk about it as we do it. Okay. So Very important because you, is he getting his lashes tinted as well? No, Renee. No. I could have used a brown on his lashes, just like a nice light, like darker brown. You could do that for your male clientele too, especially if they're too washed out. So you can, but time permits only the beard and the brows today because it's really nice to learn how to use the brow lamination solutions to relax your male clientele's brows. So that's what we wanted to aim today. Next time, we'll do Anthony's lashes. We'll do a curl as well. We'll do another type of webinar where we can showcase a curl for male clientele. Okay, prep work. So what I was going to say too is because you're working on a bigger canvas of your client's skin, it's very important that you do a patch test as well. So if this is your first time client doing these services, 48 hours before your service is being performed, you must do a patch test. Do not do it in the same seating because you will find if they are allergic, it will be too late and you could cause any harm to their skin, burning, and so forth. So 48 hours, you would do a patch test. In this case, if it was like it's Anthony, if I were to do a patch test, it would be on the lash perm and neutralizer solutions because I'm doing the brows, but as well as a tint mixed with the oxidant. I will mix that together and I will either put it on the inner forearm or behind the ear, and I will leave it there for a couple of minutes. He would, your customer would fill in your consent form, and then afterwards they would you wipe it off dry because you don't want to clean it off. You still want the solution to be in onto the skin because that's how you'll know if they'll react in an hour, 24 hours, or not at all. So if in 48 hours they don't call you, you do the courtesy call, let them know, I believe everything's good. Let's get you in for that appointment. That is the best way to take care of your client and not harm them at all. And know if they have any reactions. Okay. So I am starting with the eye makeup remover. Lovely, lovely, lovely product. 3-in-1. It's by my seller. So if, in the case you're doing a client that has makeup on, and it's waterproof, you'll be able to use the micellar technology to remove any waterproof makeup. Then you have the properties of non-oily. You need something that's non-oily because you don't want to have any barrier to your results, to your solutions, everything penetrating. And then you have, it says lash strengthening, but I always say hair strengthening because you're using it on both your brows and your lashes. But say, for example, you bleached and you remove the bleach and you want to do a little cleaning, you use the eye makeup remover, and all those amino acids that are in there are going to provide moisture to the hair that's been stripped from the bleach. So it's a really beautiful product. It also has become a retail product because of how gentle it is on the eye area. Okay, so if you don't have it, I suggest purchase it. Your customers will be very thankful. So I'm still just doing the eye makeup remover. As I mentioned, it's not a long beard, but it's a thick beard. So I'm just trying to make sure that there's nothing there, as Anthony had told me that he put some kind of cream on. So I just want to make sure that's not there. We will be doing the second step, which is the saline solution. Okay. So I got all that. Should I do the mustache again? And I'm just going to grab another one to do the brows. Okay. So good, so good so far. So far, so good. Oh, blurry. 1 second. There we go. Yeah, sometimes sudden movements make it go blurry. And I'm just gonna get the brows done. So my Anthony's brows are not bad, but there's the occasional little kinks in there, like some of the hairs that want to go the opposite direction. So we're gonna just gently relax it. We're not gonna go too crazy. And as well, if you wanted to, after your client, you can clean up any of the areas here, extra hair here, and that's it, right? And they'll have good manly brows still, but well groomed. Okay. Okay, perfect. Now we gotta do the saline. Step number 2. Never forget this. We need to do the saline solution, and we have it right here. Okay. Saline solution, very important product to have within your setup. anything I do RefectoCil, I do a second cleansing with this because it degreases, removes anything that you might have missed, and gives you that double security that there's nothing in the way, and all your, whether it's a lash lift, whether it's a bleach, whatever you're doing, that the components are going to work well with the hairs, and you'll get the results that are needed. So same thing. You can go even opposite direction. Well, we will brush as well, just in case there's any residue from the cotton as well, right? Okay, so once we have that done, if you want to have mixture, that's fine, because the prep only takes you a couple minutes. So what I'll do is I will squeeze it out to show you, and then I'm just going to brush the beard. So with Anthony, if you could, oh, it went blurry again. Oh my. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 more second. Let me just move it a little. Okay. So with Anthony, I don't know if you can tell in the camera, he has lighter hair here. Actually, this time he doesn't have a lot of warmth. Last time he had some warmth as well, like redness, but I don't see it, so that's not bad. But he has lighter shades here and a little bit of some like blonder hairs, as well as up here. So it doesn't uniform with the rest of his beard. So what we're trying to do is give that uniformity and try to keep it not, he's already pretty dark. So we kind of have to balance it out, but using, I will use a natural brown, and I will add the graphite and maybe a smidget of black. I don't necessarily have to put the black. I can just keep it at the natural brown with the graphite. Okay. The graphite will interact his beard, his mustache, and his little part here up on his lower lip have a little bit of warmth. It's not as bad as it was last time. Well, not bad, but it was more warmer last time. So I don't, that's why I'm going to use a graphite just to cool down this area and match the rest of the beard. Okay. Could you use a gauze squares instead of the cotton pads? Yes, you can. The cotton pads tend to leave a little bit of these are not lint free. I ran out of my lint free, but yes, you can. Okay. So I'm going to take my natural brown. I will show you. So I'm going to do equal parts. Now, in the description in the PowerPoint, we had said for his type of beard, it's almost like you're using a half a tube. So I would take not fully half a tube of the brown. I would take half of the tube and half of the tube of my graphite to make it that half component, right? That's what I would do. Or just follow the centimeters that it mentioned in the PowerPoint. And then for your drops, that's why I said using cream is easier, because then you can add your, like there we said about 60 to 80 drops. Here I'm just going to gauge it equal parts. It's easier with the cream to see that it's equal parts. Okay. I have a bigger bowl. Make sure you have a nice bigger bowl. Our little artist palettes will not hold enough. If it's a bigger beard, if it's a mustache, it's easier. And then we have these little. I have this little brush with another comb on the other end, which I'm going to comb out his beard before I proceed. Okay. Let me do the mixture, and I can show it to you after. Give me a second. So you do go through a lot more tint, but like I said, the price will reflect in that as well. And if you have to mix it more again afterwards, I've had to do that where the hair was sucking in the tint a lot, and I needed more tint, so I just went and mixed some more. So basically, this is what I have of equal parts of the graphite and the natural brown. And I'm going to add my, it would roughly have been, like I said, about 80 drops, but I'm just going to do it as, you don't want to sit there counting all those drops. So I'm going to do it equal the ratio by squeezing in. I will show you that as well. So basically I just went like that. So it's spreading now because it's dripping, but it's equal parts. Okay. If you want to sit and count it just to be sure the first time so you can see the amount and then you can memorize, see how much the amount is, 80 drops, then you know for the next time you don't have to count and squeeze that amount. Let's mix. Okay, before I mix it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush out the beard just in case there's nothing in there. Is it too harsh, the brush? No, it's okay. Also, it helps to dry out the area. Well, for now we know his beard's going to be dry, but if it was still a little bit wet, you can dry it out, separate the hairs. So he does have even some whiter hairs here, so that's what we're trying to balance it out. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so we've brushed it all out, and now I'm going to do my mixture. So it doesn't matter how much, it just needs to be equal parts. Yeah, equal parts. When they say 1 to 1, it's equal parts of each. That's why the cream oxidant is easier to use than the liquid for the beard tinting. Okay. Can a scale be used? Sure. You want that comb. Do we still sell these combs in the kits?
We have them in stock for sure, but I don't know if we sell them individually.
It's just in the kit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they just come in the beard tinting kit, unfortunately. It's a really nice little cute brush. It's not, I usually sometimes carry with me the brushes we use to dye our hair, but then I feel like it gets too big and clunky. So I like these little ones with the dual ends. Yep, you can use a scale. Hairdressers use that just to get your ratios accurately, because with hairdressers, if you don't get the ratio accurately, you can totally botch the color. So yeah, you can go ahead and use a scale. Okay, so I've mixed till I get a nice creamy. It almost looks like a pudding. It looks tasty. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Okay. And I answered Jerry. Perfect. Everybody's up to date with their. So it doesn't matter. Just need to try not to waste. Yeah. So that's why if I'm feeling a little iffy about the amount, I do a little bit less than it. Like if I feel like it might be too much, I do less, because it's always easier to add more than wasting whatever's left in there, right? So yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start. I will start to apply it on this, because I know this area is dark already. I'm gonna start applying it on the stash and this lower lip, and then continue to the rest of the areas, because we want to equally darken it. And with the beard tinting that has this amount of like blondes in it, to make sure, or if it had like gray in it, like thick gray, you need to wipe off a section so if I say I want to leave it on for 10 minutes, in 5 minutes, I'm going to wipe off a section and just see how it's taking. I don't want to automatically say, oh yeah, 10 minutes. And then when I go to take it off, it's so dark for them that it almost looks like painted on. We don't want to do that. Okay. So I'm going to start first. Thank you. You'll have to be quite generous. Well, depending on a type of hair we're working with. Anthony does have thicker hair. And I'll probably have to add some more color. It's been 2 years since I've done Anthony, so I gauged it less this time. But that's okay. And I'm also being very mindful of areas that there's a lot more skin, just not to start staining unnecessarily. Okay, let's do the under the lip as well. And sometimes what you can do as well is you can almost also fluff it on like that. So you already pressed it in, and then you want to fluff the thicker ones on top that are just popping out. Okay, so now that I have it on those sections, I am going to go back here and just do some areas that I feel See, beard tinting, if you're not like, you're not in the hairdresser, beard tinting makes you feel like a hairstylist because you're working on a bigger canvas. So it's kind of fun. Okay, so once I have it on there, now I can start working on the other area. Oh, let's see. So if it can go, will you go in the opposite direction? The men can shave before. Okay, hold on. There's a lot of questions. Sorry. The men can shave before. I wouldn't shave the night of. I would do it a day before. Just in case if you know how they say don't shave your legs before you go get a pedicure because you can get irritation and stuff. So I wouldn't do it right the night and the morning they're going to do a thing. I would do it like 24 hours before. So at least if there was any cuts, nicks, or anything like that, you're not going to be too affected with the ox and the tint touching the area. Will you go opposite direction? You can go at the beginning first. I apply it this way to see, but when I'm going to start going on his beard area, you can go opposite direction first. So you can get it in there and then like that, go back. So you guys can see that. So you can go opposite. This area is much denser. So you'll have to do that to get it into the hair. Okay. And just be mindful, what's the word called? Be as tidy as you can, right? It is the beard. Now here there's more skin area. So you can do this, but there's no need to do that because the hair is thinner here. So I'm just go up to the sideburn area right here because it stops here. The color is natural like his hair. It's here where if they had still some like whites there, you can go higher because you want to make sure to blend it, the whole color. We forgot to do a before picture. I'll have to grab it from the webinar. Okay, and I'm keeping it, because here this part can get shaped a little, can get waxed and cleaned. So I'm following the actual layout. So if you wanted to start 2 different timers, this timer should have started. I've learned to have an internal timer, so I know when I want to check it. And as I said, this area I'm going to remove first. Okay, so when I'm getting down to the thicker parts, you can go opposite. His down lower to his neck, it's already dark, so I don't need to focus on that area. Be mindful of that too. So I am running out of tint, which is no problem. And if you feel like there is some skin staining that you wanted to not have there, like for example, I see a question, I will answer. Give me 1 second. I grab my tint remover. And I'm just going to clean this area that I don't want staining because I want it nice and, crisp. So tint remover is very important. A lot of professionals do not have tint remover and they freak out when the hair gets too dark. Question. Sometimes when I remove the tint, there's still gray hair. What did I do wrong? Okay, so that means that the gray hair is not that new gray, and it's that coarser, wiry gray that you have to pre-soften it with the bleaching paste. We do have a webinar on our website on how to use the bleaching paste. It's not hard to use. You just got to be mindful of the timings and what level you want to leave it on. And when it comes to the gray hair, you only want to pre-soften it to 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the degree of the coarseness. So this area here is much more denser, so I'm going to have to put a lot more. There is another question I saw too. I will get back to that. Give me 1 second and let me know if I answered okay the other one about the gray. Sorry, I am between this and ESI. What is the charge for beard color? Okay, so we have mentioned that you can start at a 65 range and up, depending on the length of the beard. But if it's a mustache, you would kind of treat it as brow tinting, but maybe up it by $5 more because it's just a little bit thicker and you might have to leave it longer. But it's equivalent of 2 of your brows, I would assume. Otherwise, if it's a 3-day stubble, you can start it from 40 to 45. And then when it gets a full beard, you need to get up there to 65 because it's all about how much of your ratios you're using so that you can cover that cost as well. Let me just do a mixing and I'll answer the other question. Give me 1 second. I did run out just for the other side. So I'm not putting the full amount like I did before. I'm putting half of that, of the equal parts. So you'll be able to see that it's way less. I will show it to you. Give me 1 second. So the other time I had bigger portions, now I did less because I only have to finish this side. Okay. The other question was, can bleaching paste also be used on brows? Yep, it was meant for brows, but I even asked the manufacturer to use it on beards. You can, just be mindful because it's a lot more skin area that you're touching. So be mindful on how long you're leaving it. So I can already see that it's taking well. And that's how I mixed it. See, equal parts. And I have my oxidant. It's easier when it's a lot portion like this. I'm going to mix it and answer questions. You're welcome, Denise. So the client would be, yeah, he would be in the 65 range. There's a lot of hair. There's a lot of product that I had to use as well. And the time. So as soon as I put this on, I'm going to check the right side and see how it's darkened. And then I can potentially move to the brows. Okay. Did I? Oh, thank you, Jerry. I'm hoping I'm answering everybody's questions. If I don't, please repeat it again and I will answer it. Okay. So I'm just finishing this side. It also might be, if their beard's getting long like this, it might be wise to put like a cloth or something, just in case you don't want to dirty the clothes. I don't know if I have a cloth here. Yep, I have a towel. Just in case, with the splashing and stuff, his beard is a little bit longer. So if I don't want to dirty his clothing, you can just lay the towel. Especially if you're going to be rinsing it off as well. If you're dripping, you don't want it to go into their clothing. Okay. So I'm going opposite direction as it was mentioned because the hairs are longer down here. And I'm just going to try to follow the outline of his hair. So it's not hard. It's just a lot more focus, right? Because you're trying to cover all the hairs, more canvas to work with, but it's not hard. So I know this side here, I'm going to have to be mindful and leave it a little bit longer than the other side. So as soon as I'm done this, I'm going to check. First, I'm going to check how the right side is looking, and then I'm going to check the stash. Because it was lighter, yes, I had to leave it a little bit longer because there's a lot more white, but it could have taken better. So we have to be mindful. Just to make sure I aligned it. Yep. I don't want to go any higher here because this area can actually be groomed and give a nice clean. Like if I want, I can turn on my heater and I can groom it for him afterwards, right? So I don't want to go higher because those are just random hairs, and then the staining of the skin won't look nice. Turn this way a little bit. I'm just gonna spread it just to see. So now I'm just doing like thank you, just spreading it. So everything blends together before I check it. Okay, so, and if you felt that, okay, maybe there's some areas need some more, go mix again. But so far I'm pretty content with what it looks like. I shave them after. Oh, so you get them to groom afterwards? You can do that too, but if it's a long beard and you're going to shave afterwards, you don't want to waste product, right? So it's nice that they're groomed before so that you're not wasting product. It will look very sharp. Yes, it does. Yep.
Does using the bleaching paste also make the tint last longer? And you get better penetration for sure on the hairs. So you could have a little bit more longevity of it. But obviously bleaching is not for all the time use, right? Yeah, you mean you shave afterwards, right? It's fine. I was just thinking if they had a way longer or a lot more hair and then you had to use so much product and then you shaved half of it off, I find that's wasting your product, right? So for Anthony, I told him to groom before so that we're not wasting that much product. But whatever you feel, there's no like you have to do it this way or that way. It's your product. It's your money that you spent, right? We're just trying to help you to be mindful of that as well. But yes, it will look much nice and sharp. You know, because we usually say you shape the brows afterwards so that you can see all the brows, but that's a smaller canvas that you're working with. This is a whole beard area, so there's a lot more product. I'm just cleaning any unnecessary, just keeping it crisp. Okay, I'm gonna check this side. So I'm gonna get my cotton. The only thing is I might have to mix some more color because I am gonna remove. I'm gonna get you to tilt this way. So I'm already getting good coverage on this side, right? All the hairs look very even, but I'm going to leave it a little bit longer, about 5 more minutes, just to get any of those whiter hairs. And then I'm going to check you can go straight again. I'm going to check one corner. Oh yeah, see how it took? It's hard to tell on the camera, but it already took the color. So sometimes what you can do is you can remove it from the beard first, the stash first, and then the rest after, right? But it's now blending. I don't know if you can tell, like it's really hard on the camera, but I removed this side and it's no longer like light anymore because this side of his beard with stash, was lighter. So it's taking the color, okay? A straight razor. Okay, got it, Gloria. Yep, you can wax. Yep, we have what do you call it? We have the Bravado. So I could essentially, now that the tint's on there, take the wax and put it here and clean all this area. But I could do it afterwards as well. We're not showcasing this webinar, or else it would be a little bit longer. But I can do it for him afterwards and wax that area. You should groom it. If it's not groomed, you should groom it. You want them to walk out like with a complete service. In that case, if you are grooming, your price goes higher. Okay. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to leave it on for 5 more minutes. I'm just going to go over that area again that I touched with whatever's left in my bowl. And now I'm going to move to the brows. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the brows. And the brows, all we want to do is relax them. Okay? Bravado, yes. Yes, Andrea, have you used it? It's a great gel wax from Caron Lab, and you can work with it precisely, accurately. You don't make any mistakes with the brows when you're, no dripping, no anywhere. And even when you're grooming the male's beard or their stash, it doesn't droop. Like if you're doing the nose waxing, it won't droop into their mustache. It's a really precise, great consistency that's going to help you to groom the face without having any oops. Sometimes you can drip the wax in the wrong part of the brows and pull off hair that wasn't supposed to be pulled out. Okay, so I'm going to get my step number 1 and my bowl number 1. So I've got my lash perm, okay? 6 minutes and 4 minutes. Really, really, really fast times. It is amazing. Thanks, Emily. Yes, and Melanie. It's amazing, the Bravado. I love it. A lot of schools love it too because, or students that graduate because they might not have gained confidence in brow shaping freehand with waxing. So they buy the Bravado to help them to learn to wax the brows properly and gain that confidence. It's such an amazing wax. It's helped me as well with brow shaping because it's pretty scary, brow shaping. You can hit or miss and make the brows look bad, right? Yeah, for face waxing for men as well. Yep, exactly. Thanks, Melanie. Okay, so I got the mixture here. It's a little bit of a bigger piece size than some brows because they're a little bit thicker. So I'm going to start to apply it. In areas where the kinks are, like right here, I tend to first apply it like this. So you can see that it has a mind of its own. And then I tend to do a little like dabbing like I did with the beard so it can weigh it down and hold it down. We will use the plastic wrap. Our aim is not to create a different shape, but just to relax it. I can still put the neutralizer afterwards just to set the shape in motion, right? Instead of they're being so relaxed that they're just falling downwards. So as I mentioned, his brows are much thicker. So I do this dabbing motion to weigh them down. And when they're relaxed, you might have to do this. See, now that they're like kind of getting relaxed, you can see how long it is. I don't know if you can tell, but you see that one? It's being very a mind of its own. One to one ratio 2. No, this, you don't mix anything with this. It's straight the lash perm. So if you're new at completely using these solutions, this is what we're doing when you do a brow lamination. So it's straight out of the tube, and you use it right away. No mixing with anything else. This one has keratin. It's a keratin solution with cysteines. So we're relaxing, but at the same time, we're breaking down the bonds and the keratin in the hair, but we're still adding the protein to the hair, so we're not doing anything to damage. Okay. Okay. And once again, these hairs that are so long, I'm trying to do that dabbing motion. You could do the spreading first, and then when you're done doing the spreading, do the dabbing. So you'll need 2 clocks for this for yourself. Once again, I've just been doing this so long that I can internally do it. I will set the brows though for the 6 minutes and then go work on the beard. So I'm just pressing it down. And we will have to tint slightly his brows because the solution will fade the color. So you don't want his brows to be lighter than his beard, and then the contrast, is it blurry? It's a little blurry. So we'll have to tint them, but for not too long. So I'm going to put just in the areas, I'm going to do that whole heavy motion. And then I'm going to apply the plastic wrap. Now there are some really, really thick white ones that potentially, if they don't get relaxed with the perm solution, the next time, this is where you'll have to do the pre-softening because they're pretty coarse. I'm going to put the plastic wrap and I'm going to set it at the 5 minutes. And halfway through the time, I'm going to go back into the brows to look at them. But now I need to go to the beard. Okay, we've got that. I set on the 5 minutes. Give me 1 second. And now we're going to go to the beard. So I'm going to get some paper towel. Now with the beard, if you have a cloth, I don't have one with me, but if you have a cloth, it's easier to remove it with a damp cloth. Looks easy. Okay. Is there any way to screw this up? I worry. If you leave it on too long or if you make it too feminine looking, that's the only thing that you can make oops, but you're not going to screw up a brow lamination. You shouldn't. You wouldn't be able to. It's a lash perm. So it's RefectoCil's lash perm. It's lash perm with keratin. And step number 2 is here. And step number 2 is Neutralizer. It's the same one you use for your lashes and lash lift, lash curl, and your brow lamination. Thank you. So I'm not doing wet yet. because I don't want dripping to happen. So I'm just, you see now his mustache, how it's blending in with the rest? We will soften it. If you have tint remover, you can soften it, but now is the time where I go through a lot of cottons. But if you have a towel, remove it with a damp cloth. And you want to make sure, that you get it all out, because you don't want to sit there and keep on staining the staining. It can work up to 45 minutes. The RefectoCil tints go up to 45 minutes they work. So make sure you clean the area. And he had some, now Anthony, do we say they were gray? Did you have gray in there? Or
I think
just,
yeah, I guess
you
I had some
have,
gray
right?
and some
Okay.
white.
I didn't want to say it like that if you did, but
You can.
he has coverage. So for how thick they were, he got coverage. Okay, and literally, I believe I left it on for just 10 minutes. Okay. So I'm running out of cottons. And then remove. And I will do the same mixture. Get it in your mouth, sorry. I will do the same mixture for his brows as well. If there's any questions, I will get to them. Give me just a couple of minutes just to remove the bulk of it. This side, I'm still leaving a little bit. I'm going to work on all this side because this was put last on this side. So you can already see it's uniformed, right? You could already tell. It does look darker in the camera, but we will soften it. With my naked eye, it's not as dark as the camera. I remember he had some whites in there. It's all gone. So you have that more even look. And it will add a little of youthfulness as well. So after I get the bulk of it, I will take a paper towel as well. And then after, we're going to be adding water. You don't want it dripping down. The brows, it's halfway through the time. What I'm going to do, so I'm going to pause now. This side is okay if it's a little bit longer. I'm going to open up one side. Let's see, the permanent neutralizer Chrissy's using on the brows. Yeah, it is. You will get the recording after and a thank you email. Did I miss any questions above? Give me 1 second. That's from the lash curl kit, not the brow. They're both the same. I took mine out from the brow lamination. Okay. Yeah, it's a one set of solutions. Lash permanent neutralizer, one set for all brows, lashes. The same thing. It's the same. And then Renee mentioned that. The recording you will get 10 minutes on the beard and the stash. I'm surprised the cotton pads aren't falling apart with the quartz hair. You know what? It softened a little bit the hair too after the oxidant. It helps to soften the hair as well. So his hair feels much softer now. Yep, your recording will be sent to. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Awesome. So halfway through the time, I want to go in. And do you see now how relaxed they are? They're all following the same way. Okay. And if you have to do trimming at the end, you can trim. So this is perfect. So I'm going to close it and leave it for the remainder of the time as I'm going to work the beard. Got it? Easy. Very, very easy. So that's my timer for the brows. Let's stop that. It's a little annoying. I'm going to set the 3 minutes for the neutralizer. But before I remove the perm, I want to remove the other side first slightly and then go to the lashes. I'm just gonna get some more cottons. Yeah, have a bowl with a cotton, with a small little cloth. So much easier. You don't go through cottons. Okay, so a little bowl with some lukewarm water, not hot, 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 and clean the area. So I'm just gonna remove this side, the bulk of it. And then I can go to the brows. Now this part that's more denser, what I will do is with a tint remover, this part here is more denser, there's a lot more hair. I'm going to soften a little bit so that it blends with the areas here that have more skin. Just a little bit. But you can tell it looks much more uniform. There's still quite a few, there's still a lot more tint on it, and I'm going to do it afterwards with water. Okay, so we got the bulk off. Oop, just hit my head. Sorry, guys. Okay, perfect. So I have the bulk of it off, which is awesome. And I can tell by my cotton that it's getting lighter and lighter, right? So for example, if I just did another one, I know that's getting lighter. See how it's like, so now I know I can go ahead and put water. But I'm gonna go do the brows first. Now, if you're beginning to do this and you can't multitask like this, no pressure. Don't go ahead and do this like how I'm doing it. This is practice. I've done this so many times, so I can multitask. You can just do it separately if you feel you can't, okay? Good so far? So I'm going to take now the Q-tips and remove, and there is a question. Can a face cleansing be done with a skin cleanser for finishing? If the skin cleanser has any oils in it, no. So I would just strictly just use water. Yeah. So you see they're more relaxed now. All the hairs follow that direction. And if I want to do any trimming, don't worry about the redness. It tends to do that because you're touching skin. So just be mindful that when you apply the solution, clean any area around the skin. But they will have tingling. I'm sure Anthony felt some tingling in his skin a little bit. Did you feel it? Yeah. That's normal. If the tingling turns to burning, then it's not good. But you will know this with the patch test if they are allergic. Now, for me, when I after we're done the webinar, I'm going to clean this area up for Anthony here. But the rest of the brow, I was thinking I would have to trim it. Nope. They're flowing nicely this way. No curls in there whatsoever. Okay, remove the other side. And his hair lightened a little bit. So it's always good to pair a brow lamination with a tint because the hair will lighten. So I'm just removing it enough just to make sure my Q-tip is dry, and then I can put the neutralizer. Okay. So I'm going to take my other bowl, my neutralizer. Neutralizer is creamy and white. And squeeze that out. And then while that's processing, I'm going to go clean the beard. So I'm a little late. Can you relax the beard? Yeah, you can relax the beard. I'm going to actually ask them if it's okay to put so much solution on the skin area because it might irritate them. So I can ask the manufacturer and see if that's okay. They didn't market it for beard. They only marketed it for brows, meaning that it might be too harsh for the beard area because there's so much more skin that you're dealing with. So I can always check. It doesn't hurt. And I can always let you know. That was for Janine. So now we're doing the neutralizer. Now it's going to set the shape into place. So I'm just following how the brow is flowing. I'm not going to do any laminated look. I'm not going to do any fluffy look. I'm trying to keep it still masculine. So it's a creamy white texture. Okay. Okay, so once I've put that on, you can either opt using the plastic wrap or you can use it if you want. If you feel that there's still some hairs that need to be secured down during the neutralizer portion, you can put the plastic wrap back on. And do not remove it during the timing, leave it to process. If you go in there and you disrupt it, you won't have the results that are needed. So I'm going to go take the plastic wrap. And place that. And now I'm going to go to the beard. Okay, now is where I'm going to grab some wet paper towel. Just to apply some water and remove any bulk of it on the beard, and then I can do the tint remover to soften it. Is the pressure okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So there's not much that's left on, but I just need to make sure that he doesn't touch his beard and gets it on his fingers and then touches his clothes. Plus, we're going to do it with the tint remover as well. So you can see with a towel and a bowl of water, it'd be just easier. Perfect. So now I'm going to take the cotton. I still have a minute and a half on the brows. I'm going to take my tint remover. Okay, let's see. If you need, thanks, I appreciate if you can look into that. So I'm a little late. Can you relax? Yes, I will look into that. When he should touch up his beard. Oh, Anthony, last time we did it last you a good 4 weeks or more?
I don't remember, but I think it was about 4 weeks.
4 weeks? Okay. I feel with the beard as well, because it's like brows, men tend to touch it a lot more. Our hands are like, you tend to put your hands a lot in your beard, and not men's, but all of our hands, our fingertips are oily. So I would give it 4 weeks. We do have the styling gel that men can use as well in their beard, which I'm going to end it with. But I feel like lashes tend to last longer if they're not putting any mascara on. Brows, the tinting tend to last a little bit shorter because they're more exposed. They trap dust, dirt. Also, beard, when you're eating, traps food and stuff like that. If there's oil in the food and stuff like that, it can break it down. So a 4-week wear is not bad at all. So I'm just softening it now with our tint remover. Okay, there's a question. Thanks. If you need to lighten the hairs and laminate them, tint, can you do the 3 in a row? So you would bleach first, wait 24 hours, then come back to laminate and tint. You shouldn't do it all in the same day because it's too much processing. Okay. There's a lot more questions now. If you need to light, no, we said that. Did the client feel any activity with the tint? On his beard, you mean, did he feel any sensitivity? He's done it 3 times, but you can let us know. Did you
Yeah,
feel
no,
any?
I felt nothing.
So he said he felt nothing. He's been used before by me for beard tinting, and he's never reacted, as far as I know. So he's a good candidate. His brows reacted a little bit because it's a different solution. It's a perm solution, so he turned a little red. How long is the neutralizer on for again? If you're doing the brows with the plastic wrap, the time is 5 and 3. If you're not using the plastic wrap, it's 6 and 4. So 6 minutes of lash perm, 4 minutes in the neutralizer. Otherwise, with the plastic wrap, it's 5 minutes of lash perm and 3 minutes of neutralizer. So hopefully that answered everybody's questions. I'm just going to remove the brows. I just want to see the last question. Male brow lamination, I wouldn't charge it anything different than a woman's. Like, it would be $70 to $90. Between $70 to $90. If you want to go 75 because there's a lot more hair you're working with, sure. But the process is just the same as a woman's. So I wouldn't go too much higher. Hopefully that answered the questions. Let me know if I'm answering. What, like I said, $70 to $90 for just a lamination. If you start to tint, you can go from 90 to 100. We would say from 125 to 150, you can charge the complete package of everything you're going to do on the brows, either whether it's bleaching, whether it's lamination, whether it's shaping, tinting. But all that depends on your demographics as well. You might not be able to do 150, but you'll be able to do 125, right? Depending on your clientele. So I'm removing it with a dry Q-tip, and you can see that all the hair, you can tell it's relaxed. You can see that it's much longer. Like I said, the camera doesn't do it too much justice, but the hair, all of them are flowing. Before he had waves. He had waves, and the one, remember the one that was sticking this way? It's going down. Okay. So I'm going to remove because then I'm going to wipe with the neutralizer before we put the tint on. And you can, they're much longer when they get relaxed too, the hairs. So if you feel like you want to do a trimming, you can. This all depends on what your client wants in the look. So I'm going to take my saline solution. It's all good, Jennifer, Lori, everybody, that's good? Okay, I'm just going to clean the area because now I want to tint it. So I'm just using, excuse me, the saline solution. Before I put the tint, I want it to dry a little bit, but I'm going to do a little brushing just to separate the hairs. And they're flowing to where I'm brushing. They're not fighting with me. Right? So that's a nice thing about lamination. Okay, and now I'm going to take my tint, the same colors I use on the beard. Don't worry, I will go back onto the beard and clean it. I haven't forgotten his beard. That's what I'm saying. If you can't multitask like this, don't worry. Don't put pressure on yourself. You will learn to do this as you get more acquainted with the service. Okay? How many sets of brows can you do with one kit? Brow lamination kit, 9 to 12. Now, if you start using the brow lamination kit just for males, that might lower a little bit because the male brows are thicker. But you should be able to do 9 to 12 brow laminations with the brow lamination kit. You should be able to get back almost, if you just do the 12 times 7, you should be able to do 600 plus revenue out of one kit that would have cost you $130 or in Canada, or in the US, 120. So great revenue with our kits. And they're easy add-on services to any of your other aesthetic services as well, or hair. If they're getting their hair processed and they're sitting under the dryer, or they're just waiting for the hair to process, you can be laminating their brows. You could be tinting their brows. You could be easy add-on services. Okay, so now I just mixed the same ratio for his brows. Okay. So good so far. Amazing. Do you do classes with certification online? We do, with our distributors. So depending where you are, I think for the year we only have one more class in November for the US with California Skincare. But if you're not in their region, I don't believe they will ship the product to you. So you'd have to check. But on our education, RefectoCileEducation.com, we do have a section that you hover over education, and there is the educational calendar, and you can see all the classes putting on there. We will resume again with classes in the new year. It just says when we reach closer to the holidays, not a lot of people are able to register. So we will start with full force in the new year again. Will there be any other webinar just on brow lamination or lashes? Yeah, November 29th. Register for November 29th. It's getting ready for the holidays. I'll even showcase our makeup line, our brow pencils that I have in my brows as well. I love them. Very good quality. So I'm going to put it on. Now, this is where you should actually use protection cream. I'm a clean tinter, but you should be using protection cream so you can avoid unnecessary staining. Now, after you brow laminated, the tint stays on for about 3 minutes, but be mindful. Now, Anthony has thicker brows. He's a male. We can go a little bit darker. But in the case of another one of your client, if you leave it on fully 3 minutes and don't check halfway in the time to see how it's taking, you will make the brows too dark. Remember, they've been processed, so they receive the color faster and darker because the lamination lightened their brows. So always check. It doesn't hurt just to take off a portion like I did even with the beard, and check and see how it's taking. Okay, I'm going to clean around. Perfect. So while that's happening, is there any questions? How much can you charge for the service? I did not get the cost. Okay, I have received California Skincare Lash Kit. I didn't. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, that's perfect. So they will take it. Okay, so if anybody's interested, try California Skincare and see if they will ship in your area. They will be the last class, I believe. Yep, November 1st. So coming really soon. You can go to our calendar that I mentioned, or just go straight to California Skincare under education. But you can even go to ours, like Renee put the website there, RefectoCil Education. Hover over education, go on the calendar, and you will see all the classes. Would this gentleman do any facial treatments for advertising? I'm looking for male clients. Where are you located? Would this gentleman do any facial treatments for advertising? First of all, where are you located? And second of all, we have to ask Anthony. Vaughn, would you?
I guess.
He says, sure. So you know what? Shoot us if you want, shoot an email to the education, and I will forward it to Anthony. And then we could, you guys can connect. So if the hairdressers were coloring the brows previously, the color I do will make fast. So if the hairdressers were coloring their brows previously, the color I do might take faster or darker. I'm a little bit, okay, so if the hairdressers were coloring the brows previously. If they were coloring, you mean before you, now they're coming to you? I'm not quite sure it will go darker because you'll have to find out the color that they were doing before. I'm a little lost with the question, Jerry. Mazzoni, perfect. Yeah, email us on education at cbngroup.com. Let me just get some wet. I'm just gonna do a little bit of wet again on the beard, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of tint remover, and then we're gonna be good. We're gonna do the brows. I will remove one of the brows in 50 seconds to check it. Okay, so while I'm waiting for the brows to take, I'm going to do a little bit of a softening once again. How long does a lamination last? We say about 4 weeks. It's not as long as the lash lift because remember, the brows are more exposed. They trap the dust, they trap the dirt. So they will fade, they will lose their shape faster. But that's why we have the styling gel. Great product, hero product, great product to sell to your customers to use in between visits to hold their brows into place. So I'm just softening it a little bit. In the camera, like I mentioned, it looks darker, but with my naked eye, it blends with his hair color. But I'm just softening it a little bit and also making sure there's not a lot of tint still on there. And then I will remove the brows and then we will see the complete look. Now, if I doubted the brows because I'm like, I never laminated Anthony before. It's our first time. I'm going to go check it. And it's taking really well, so I can remove it. See? Took really well the color. See how fast it takes it? Really fast. Because we did the lamination. Now everything blends. Brows, hair on his head, and beard blends. His eye color will pop out more too, which will be nice. I tend not to remove any more of the tint with water on the brows. I do it dry. There's a brow guru I love to follow, and that's what he does, and I think that's perfect. But just make sure that there is no tint left on your tissue, cotton, whatever you're using to remove it. And the brows look so much softer as well from the, if you probably can't, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but there's a shine to them from the relaxing. Perfect. So the tint bulk is done from that. Sorry.
Sorry.
Let me see if there's any questions. We've got all the questions answered. Sorry, Jerry, if you want to rephrase your question or if I did answer it, if I didn't answer it, I couldn't understand it completely, so I don't want to leave you unanswered. Okay. And the final thing would be the styling gel. And because I don't have I didn't have a cloth and the bowl, I'm going to go back to the beard and just soften it again before I put the styling gel. Okay, so just bear with me to soften that, and then we'll be good. So the brows look really good. Still look masculine, but the color too is rich now. I'll make sure next time to have a bowl and a towel ready so it doesn't have to take this much time, the cleaning.
I feel quite pampered.
So Anthony said he feels quite pampered, so it's okay. You always want to hear that from your client. As long as they're relaxed and they feel good, that's what counts, right? So now when Anthony goes home, if he wants to take a shower, that's fine. Don't take a prolonged humidity shower and try not to put like any exfoliants around the beard area. He can do a quick like rinse of the beard because there's a lot of hair. but don't scrub it too much with anything abrasive or oily because it can break down within that 24 hours. It can break down the color. Same with the brows. Don't put any oils on it. He's male. I don't think he's gonna put any makeup, but just refrain for that for the first 24 hours. So I'm just using a dry cotton for now, so I can see how much. Okay, so how you would end it, I would do a quick little brush first. I think if he looks very good. Thank you, Lori. Oh, blurry. Nice, thank you, Gary. Thank you. I think if the stylists color the hair with a short time frame, it might take faster because the cuticle would be open, but most likely the client would be waiting a month or between, so it would not be as quick. Okay, so I think Gary got her answer from Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. Connection is not good on my end, or everybody can hear me? Everybody can see me and hear me? On my end? I'm just brushing it through just to separate them if they were wet. Perfect. And now I would do the styling gel. Disposable mascara wand. I'm going to disposable mascara wand because I don't want to double dip. I will show you the product. Here you go, the styling gel. And I apply it on his brows and on his beard. This is going to hydrate, moisturize, and seal in the treatment. Now, I'm going to shape afterwards when we leave. I'm going to clean around. So this would be your last step, but I'm just showing it to you guys so you guys can see. It's going to, as I said, hydrate, condition, and seal in the treatment. Now, this is good for people who the tint doesn't last long for them. This is a good product for them to buy and use at home every morning to seal in the tint and hopefully make it last a little bit longer. There we go. So that would be your final touch. And if we get Anthony to look in, brows look great. I've never done a brow lamination, Anthony. They look great. I'm gonna get you to turn sideways. So we've got no more, oh, blurry. So we've got no more gray. It's not showing it properly. Hold on, it's blurry. There we go. So we got no more gray. No more gray. So all full coverage. And the brows. So let me just see what it. Good? Everybody can see that? The brow styling gel. Beautiful styling gel. Yes, thanks, Renee. Okay, oops, sorry. But that's the complete how you can help your male clientele. Very, 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 it keeps on going blurry. Very, very easy to do. Just takes a little bit more time because you have a lot more canvas to work. So hopefully this webinar, I said before the year ended, I have to do a male grooming webinar because especially with the brow lamination, it's so important to treat your male clientele as well. Like I'm really, like your brows look good. I like the beard tinting I already know all the time with you, but the brows was my first time on Anthony. Love it. Thank you. This was helpful, informative. Thank you, Angelica. So basically that's it for the webinar today. So if you have any questions, please, please, please reach out to us at education@cbngroup.com. Thank you, Lori. Thank you so much for your support as well. If you have any further questions that you remember afterwards, feel free to email us. If you're going to go through the website, email us. I'll get that. I will answer it for you. I'm wishing you all the best. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Rosanna and Rosalie and Sabita. I wish you guys all the best with lash and brow styling and beard styling with RefectoCil. With all that, thank you, Renee, for your help as well. See you soon again. Hopefully, I get to see you guys at trade shows as we're beginning to attend them now. So have a wonderful day. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you, Renee. Thanks, Anthony, too. Thanks
Thank
to
you.
our model as well. You're very welcome. Thank you, Melanie. I'm waving goodbye. Adieu, mes amis, for Melody, all the way from Quebec. Okay, wonderful afternoon. Bye.